Hey y'all, Grandma Rose here. It is raining cats and dogs. We are having a rainstorm. Thunderstorm actually, and it's supposed to rain all day. So I'm going to stay inside and I'm going to work on some videos and do some house cleaning and planting some seeds. Other things that need to get done. Take advantage of the rain while I can and get some things done inside the house that have been needing to be done. Hear the thunder? Whoa, it's raining, thundering, lightning, and it's supposed to be even worse tonight. So let me get to it, and I will put together a video for you about herbs and weeds and things like that. Hey y'all, Grandma Rose here. I'm out of my garden this morning, and it's time to weed. My garden is really, really weedy, and I want to show you why I've left it that way. Come on with me into my garden and around the yard, and I'm going to show you weeds. Lots and lots and lots of weeds, and try to identify them for you. Don't know if I know all of them, but I know a lot of them, and maybe you don't know what they are either. Another thing to do. Well, when I talk about weeds, I was thinking mainly of small, like low winter annuals, early spring weeds. But there's other things in here that are not really weeds, but they're weeds because they're someplace where I don't want them. For instance, down here, that's a blackberry. And so is that coming up in there. That's a blackberry. And there's more blackberries right in there, and they're beginning to flower. You see that? Well, poison ivy, of course. We know we don't want poison ivy. But there's a grapevine. See the grapevine? Grapevine, and more poison ivy. And all in here, now these are not weeds. Obviously not weeds, but do you see my iris? I have iris all in here. I planted this when I first moved here from my garden when I lived in Memphis. And they bloom beautifully there and have not bloomed a single time here. Well, the reason is I've got them under this tree. When I planted them, I didn't realize how shady this was going to be. So I need to dig these all up and move them someplace else. Those are not weeds, but that's a project that needs to happen later on in the summer. Iris really pretty much go dormant in the summertime. And then they're active in the early spring. So I'll wait until summer when it's hot and they're pretty much dry. I will divide them then. This would not be a weed tree, except it's under power line. The power line there, that's a black walnut. And you can see down here at the base, I've cut it down several times. And it keeps coming back. Time to cut it down again. And there's the blackberry. Okay, let's see what else. Let's go around to the other side. See, there's more grapevine right there. And that's a smilax. Not necessarily a weed if it were in the woods. But definitely in this area under this tree, I don't want the smilax. So that's got to go, and I keep trying to dig it up. But if you've seen Denny King's video where he dug up a smilax root, this isn't something that I can do. So I just keep cutting it down and deal with it. Smilax have enormous roots. Big bulbous root under the ground, which is where roots generally are. See a little cedar tree and ash seedlings and another tree. So these are weed trees pretty much. Well, they're not weed trees except they're seedlings of things that I don't want to be growing here. This grass right here is an annual. The scientific name is Poa annua, and people call it Poannie. It's a winter annual. Comes up all over the place, and I dig it up, of course, and it comes back. violets. Well, are they weeds or are they wildflowers? That's up to you. Can you recognize that? Of course, the dandelion. Look at all these weeds that are in my driveway. That's plantain. Look at this. All of this is plantain. Well, not this. That's not. But over here, these are. This is plantain. That's all plantain. So I've got a treasure trove of plantain in my driveway. This is all the broadleaf. And I know I have some narrowleaf plantain too, but I don't see any right here. Well, in fact, I believe that's what this is right here. I'm thinking this is the narrowleaf plantain. And then that's the broadleaf. That one right there. And these. There's definitely a difference in the way that one looks, and I believe that is the narrowleaf. But it's so early in the season, it's hard to tell. And all up and down my driveway, that's what's there. Well, there's other weeds too, but predominantly plantain, and I'm happy with that. This plant right here is a dock. I believe it's a curly dock, which is a medicinal herb. Yellow root is what it's called. A valuable herb, but it's a weed. Let's look over here in this flower bed. Okay. Here is my red monarda. Right in there coming up. That's the red monarda. And more of the red monarda. And of course, here's a wild garlic. Wild garlic, of course. I've got them all over the place. And I've got some wild onions too. And his phlox, which is not a weed. You recognize that. The dandelion. All around here on the ground. This is the dock. See that? This right here is not. That's a valuable herb. Or a medicinal plant anyway. You wouldn't call it an herb. It's a lichen. This is one that Sarah of Living Traditions did a video on called usnea. It's a powerful antibiotic. This one is dried, but it fell off the tree. There's the oak tree up here. Look at all the leaves on the oak trees now. Let's see what else. So I'm keeping this. I'll bring this inside. I've got a collection of these inside. So compare these two plants right here. It's muddy in here. We had big rain, like 4 or 5 inches this past weekend. 4 or 5 inches of rain this past weekend, and everything's muddy. Right here, this plant is the dock, and right next to it is a plantain. Look at it like that, they really look pretty similar, and they're both medicinal plants. More dock, more dock, more dock, more dock, and grass. This is an area that has got to be weeded. It's not on my to-do list for today, but it's grass that needs to come out. I'm going to plant zinnias in here. So this is going to be a zinnia bed, and I've got to get it cleaned out. What else do we have in here? This little yellow flower right there. I'll show you some better examples of that in a minute. Well, here's one right here. Looks a little bit better. That's a ranunculus. Ranunculus. There are ranunculus that are garden flowers. And of course, there's the dandelion, which I love. Dead nettle. Did a video on that last year. And this looks like smooth. This looks like the dock, not the curly leaf dock, but I believe it's got smooth leaf dock. I believe it's called. See the difference in the edges of the leaves, how they're not as ripply as the other one. I have both. This one right here, you see how the edges of the leaves undulate? Well, that's a curly leaf dock, as is that one right there. So there's another curly leaf right there. More ranunculus. And there. They're happier in the sun. Right here at the edge of my garden fence. I'm going to go inside the fence in a minute. I want to show you some other things outside the fence. This is the problem right here. It's not really a problem, but it looks pretty bad. But it's not really that bad, I promise you. Yes, it's weeds, but they're good weeds. And more of the ranunculus. I have those all over the place. See over here? Pretty yellow flowers in the lawn. And white clover. Is that a weed? I don't know. Violets. And there's violets with the sage. That's the lyre leaf sage. If you've watched the video that I did on the Nettle Parkway in the dogwoods, I showed you a lyre leaf sage. That's what that is. And I'm still planning on doing a video on that. More violets all in here, and lots of this ranunculus. This ranunculus, common name is buttercup. There's a lot of things called buttercup. Look at this one right here. Isn't that pretty? With the buttercup, the ranunculus, with the violets right under it. It's so sweet and pretty. How dare you call these weeds? This plant right here, you see that? That's a wild geranium. I think I've seen some that are flowering. Let me see if I can find it. And this plant right here, I do not know what the name of it is. I've forgotten it. I will look it up because I'm pretty sure that I remember what it is. Or at least I know where I have it written down. That's a pretty one. It only blooms in the spring. That's a weed. Then it dies down and it goes away. I'm sure it self-seeds. Oh, look here. Right here, little. But this is the wild geranium. See the pretty little pink flowers? Here's the geranium leaves. And this has been mowed down and it is flowering. If it hadn't been mowed, it would have been bigger. Not a weed. In here, through that chicken wire, there's that geranium all along the edge of my garden. So this is where I saw it blooming, right in here. You see it blooming? You see the pink flowers on here? Now this plant right here, now this is interesting. You see this? Hold it with my fingers because the wind's blowing. That's a false dandelion. That's not a dandelion. Can't even see the leaves on it. Tall, straight stem, and it does not have those lyre leaf leaves down at the bottom of it. That's not a dandelion, but it looks very much like it. Yellow composite. Those are bluets, and they're one of the first things to bloom in the very, very, very early spring, so they're about to go. These are the little yellow flowers that are in the composite family. They look a lot like dandelions, but they're tiny. Well, not tiny, tiny, but they're much, much smaller than dandelions. They're shaped a lot like dandelions. The storm we had this weekend brought down some limbs. I need to get out here and clean this up. It's not too bad. It could be a lot worse. I guess I'll have to start. No, I don't have to start another burn pile. I can just add to the one I've already got back in the back. I'm not going to start another one. Now this right here, that's this tall plant that has not flowered yet. It's called Venus Looking Glass. It has blue flowers when it blooms. Very, very pretty. Let's come in the gate. You see what I've had to do? The dog pushed out the boards. Right now I've got cable ties holding it together. I will fix it. Probably this week I will fix it. But right now, yeah, that was a quick fix, and I will fix it better. I discovered something just this morning. The dog has been getting out of the yard and looking all around the fence. All around the fence, I cannot find any place that he has gotten out. Usually when he's gotten out, the fence is broken down, bent down, and it's obvious that he's gotten out, and I can't find any place that he's getting out. Until this morning. And back through there, back through that arch, you can see that fence at the other end. Well, he was able to get a long running start, and he bounded over that fence like a racehorse. He jumped that fence. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful with him when I let him out, because he's obviously not to be trusted now. Okay, let's back to wildflowers, back to weeds. Here's some really pretty violets. Look at the violets right there. With mint. That's chocolate mint. It is really windy. I hope the wind isn't bothering this too much. See that geranium? This flower is a vetch. It's in the bean family. It's a legume. People use it as cover crop. The Tradescantia and clematis. Isn't that pretty together? And there's extension cord that I just fixed. I repaired it. You see the bright yellow plugs on it? I replaced those yesterday, and I should have done a video, and I didn't. Next time I do something like that, I will do a video of it. Here's more violets. And this right here, that's that dock. But this is in the backyard where the dog runs around, and it's become very, very fertilized. Very fertile. You know the dog yard, you know why it's very fertile. Now this is the narrow leaf plantain. You see the difference? There's the narrow leaf plantain. A Babel medicinal herb. And here's more of the veg. Coming up in the rosemary. There's more dead nettle. You've seen that. And grass. Now this is something, I can find a better example of it, but if I can't, this is a good one. This plant right here, put down my usnea. This plant right here is Cleavers. It's a valuable medicinal herb. And I've been collecting this today, which is one reason that I have not been out there in the garden and weeding and getting things up. Oh, look here, there's another geranium. Little geranium, little pink flowers on this one. Not the same one, a different species. Anyway, here in this mint, and with wild onion, is Cleavers. More of the Cleavers right there. Get back up again, I don't want to lose that. Dock, dead nettle, geranium, Georgia collards, going to seed. I'm letting these go to seed so I can collect the seed. Onions, peas. Peas are getting tall, they're about a foot tall. Shouldn't be too long, they'll be flowering. And this is a wild strawberry. Duchesnea, I believe is the name of it. This plant right here is a wild ranunculus that was really pretty. It's a different one. More of the buttercups. Now this right here, look at this. Now this is something I want to show you because you should recognize this. What is that? Stellaria media is the scientific name. What is it? Chickweed. If you didn't already know it, that's chickweed. There's a little flower on it right here. Tiny little flower right there, just starting to bloom. You see that? And that's how it got the name Stellaria. Stellaria means star. And so the flowers are star-like. And this is chickweed. And I've got a lot of chickweed. Look at all this. One thing about chickweed is it doesn't dry well. It doesn't keep well if you dry it. I need to do something with it. I need to do an infusion or a tincture or something with it while it's fresh. You let it wilt a little bit, and then you can do to get rid of some of the water in it, and then you can do other things with it. You can make it's really, really good. Make a salve is what I want to do. So I will do an oil infusion, and then I will make it into a salve. It's supposed to be really good for itching, or at least according to Rosemary Gladster, very, very well-known herbalist. Okay, so lots and lots and lots and lots of chickweed in here. All in here. All of this is chickweed. And with some of the little geranium right there. But this is all chickweed. And some grass. But this is going to be easy to get up. It's going to be really, really, really easy to pull up. I'm looking to see, okay, here's some more of the cleavers. Right there is some, right there, there, right in here. You see that? All along right in here. And with my pretty bulbs, this is cleavers. Tiny little flowers. You can see. Collecting herbs today. And in just a couple of days, this garden is going to be clear of weeds. I mean, you hesitate to call them weeds when they are so useful, but they are. They're weeds. This right here looks bad. The men who mowed the grass for me came through last week, and I guess they saw the flowers and thought they were not weeds and left them for me to cut down. Clover. I love the white clover. Just the white Dutch clover is so pretty. But almost all of this, a great majority of this, at least here in the garden, is chickweed and cleavers. And the geranium, which can go. But I probably will end up composting most of this. Here, there's some more cleavers. Do you see that? Here's the cleavers. Cleavers. Another nickname, well, there's a couple of other common names for cleavers. One of them is bedstraw. Ladies' bedstraw might be one. It's called Velcro plant. So there's the vetch. Good nitrogen fixation. Cleavers is an excellent medicinal herb. Chickweed is an excellent medicinal herb. And actually there are 2 species of chickweed in here, and I'm not seeing the second one right now. There's this one, which is Stellaria media, and then there's another one called mouse ear chickweed. Which looks very much like it, except the leaves are fuzzy. Look at this pretty geranium in here. Over here, this is actually a woodland plant. That's a wildflower. And this is also a geranium. But this one is cultivated. This is not a weedy one. That grass right there is. This is oxalis. It's a white oxalis. Same genus as wood sorrel, different species. And over here is a pink oxalis. And again, it's a different species. Same genus as wood sorrel. There's some back in here. Oh, I've got all this wood that I need to do things with. I've got it, collecting it, ready to have projects. Oh dear. Need to find a place to put it. But I think that's about all I'm going to do right now. If you look right in here, my daffodils are starting to bloom. This is the variety of daffodil that's blooming out in my back field. And so that back field is getting ready to be beautiful. Right there. That's more cleavers. Cleavers. Right in here with the mint. And here's another elderberry that I do not want here. That's a really good one, isn't it? So that one needs to go, unfortunately. If there's anything out here in this backyard, there should be dandelion in here because I planted some. A little bit right there. I saved the seeds and planted dandelion here. Ooh, we have wildflower right here. Plants right here. Do you see that? That's Jack in the Pulpit. These are some bulbs that I bought when I first moved here. And I planted some woodland wildflowers right in here. So that's a Jack in the Pulpit. Beautyberry's leafing out. Well, that's good. And as always, I can't have a video without showing privet. It's my propane tank with the privet. Let's leave it at that. Bye, y'all. See you next time.